What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Critical Points. As usual, I am your host, Legacy, and I have media here. And joining us today is Vulcan. Vulcan, say what's up to everybody.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Thanks for joining the show. I know that I reached out on Twitter and see if anybody was basically interested in joining and being on the show as like an analyst. And thank you for responding because I know you have a lot of experience in the competitive scene. So first topic, let's talk about the LAN event. And the teams that were invited were CSPG, Dynasty, Gangstars, Hammers, Nova, and Set to Destroy. How do you feel about the teams that are going to the LAN, and what are your thoughts on the situation?
Well, I think the teams going to the LAN, they're super strong. Gangstars, they're probably the favorites to win it, but it's LAN, so we don't really know who's good.
Yeah.
But I think the teams, on LAN, I think they're prepared, actually. They've been doing some preparation, I've heard. But yeah, I think Gangsters might take it just because of their sheer firepower. Nova. Nova was looking kind of strong as well. I think it was Milio and Cam to Nova, I heard that was, for the LAN event.
That is correct.
Yes, that's also going to look really tough to me because those are some really good players with Nova as well. Gangsters might be in for a bit of for some competition right there, man. I think Gangsters being as prepared as they are, I think they might take it on for real. They could really win this one. Hammers is also a really strong team, but I'm not sure if they're a LAN type of team. They could be just, I really don't know, because I think once when the first LAN happens, we sort of have, I guess, we have a base to see, which teams are good on LAN, which players are good on LAN. But yeah, it could be even CSPG or Dynasty, but we'll have to see on LAN.
If there's an upset, who do you think it would be?
Probably CSPG.
Yeah,
CSPG. They're underrated a lot.
They definitely are underrated, and if you look at their history, they ended up winning for Eurasia, so congrats to them. And then also in the Mystic tournament, they also defeated D2R. So I mean, they're definitely on a good run, and also something that Pun had reached out to me to see if I had any players available. So MVP will also be joining their roster as well for the LAN event. So and like you mentioned, Cam and Milio will be playing for Nova, and I think that changes things.
Yeah.
Obviously, the time zone difference is going to affect their practicing, but when you build chemistry and in a LAN environment, you mentioned some things like, all right, pressure. Obviously, nobody's played at a LAN yet. And online pressure, I would feel like is different from live pressure.
Oh, I agree completely.
Definitely.
Especially with the audience staring at you. It's going to affect everything.
Do you feel like, GS, we talk about GS a lot. GS is one of the most well-prepared teams ever in this game. I would date back to about a year and a half. They've been dominating. You've been a part of GS. Their strategies to prepare are pretty much unleveled and unmatched. Do you think that even the bright lights can affect a team like GS?
Well, back in Gangsters, back when I used to play for Gangster, the first LAN event that was announced that was canceled, I remember we were scrimming and we had a music bot playing crowd noises and crowd cheering. And so it would kind of mix up our communications just to get used to how it would be during LAN and stuff like that. They were pretty extensive with it. It was pretty hard to hear each other over the crowd noise. They might be doing that still to this day for LAN to prepare for it. But I think bright lights would mess with even the best players. But you have to get used to it because the first LAN is probably always going to be like the weirdest for a player because you're in a different environment. You know, you're playing. You know, you can't really hear your teammates. You're probably.
You're right. Yeah. That is definitely a different environment, different pressure, different added pressure.
Yeah.
You know, psychologically. You know, you can play on scrims, you can play in the Premier Leagues and all that, but just knowing the outcome of this and the magnitude of what is this first LAN will psychologically give you added pressure, and there's really nothing you can do, I think, to prepare for that because it's unprecedented. So
I think the best thing is just stay positive.
Yeah, you know, stay
support
stay
your teammates.
There definitely could be, you know, some crazy matches. You know, obviously CF picked the best teams that they could to go to this event, and you know, there could be, I don't know how Amazon's going to do it, whether it's going to be a best of one or kind of like, you know, single elimination kind of thing. But there could be matches if it's not best of one. One and done. There could be matches that, you know, go to a best of 3 or a best of 5 with massive upsets. You know, I think in a live event, the momentum is very key, very similar to like a football game or a basketball game in the playoffs. You know, that momentum is huge. So there's no server difference. Everyone's playing on an even keel. So it's basically talent versus talent. Now, with the teams going, I think personally. The teams that people are kind of, you know, overlooking is Dynasty and CSPG, and maybe even Set to Destroy. And I feel like, you know, the hype behind like Cam and Melio playing for Nova, Hammers gets to join it, and you know, obviously they were IFL before. They've obviously proven themselves. I think the teams that people might sleep on are CSP. If there was no server difference in some of the, you know, a lot.
What goes on in the team's main gear, I think. If it's like a really good LAN and it's not like bad. So yeah, this first LAN. We'll say a lot about career clubs as, you know, a game itself as well as esports. So I think it really is up to like the pro scene. And you mentioned Dynasty and CSPG. You know, I think if someone wants to win LAN, they have to come more. They have to come with more than just firepower and just raw talent. Because
that mental preparation for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think usually whenever you're playing well, your aim is on point. You know, it's just when, you know, you are relaxed, you're calm. But whenever, you know, there's these big flashing lights on you, I think your gun skill might suffer a bit. And that's where strats come in. And in North America, especially, we play under a system that's like, there's no strats involved. Like, it's all just like go A, go B, or play slow. And that great for LAN, but since they have Milio and Cam, they might mess with the system a bit. By putting in North American strats in the way how they think of the game. So I'm not entirely sure, but I think you need some strats in there, and maybe that's why Europe might edge out. Possibly. But I'm still going with Gangsters, but it's likely that Gangsters might not go through. But I'm going for Gangsters.
Yeah, I think at LAN it's anybody's game, honestly. I don't think people realize internet connection has a big deal with how you play, too.
Yeah, your FPS is huge. You know, you're getting that extra millisecond to shoot before someone else does. You know, you definitely brought up a great point. Strats. Now EU and NA, there's always been that controversy back and forth. Who's better? I think this LAN will show the difference in what kind of strats people use. The only time we really get to see them, obviously, is in Valiant's events, but we haven't got to see a NA versus EU in a while. So
no, not since
autumn season, maybe.
Autumn Gangsters and Elevate was it?
Yeah, I think it was autumn season. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because a South America team didn't get to go. It would have been great to see, you know,
definitely
Sanity Killers or Battalion, formerly NIA. And I'm not sure why they didn't get to go, but obviously I feel like that's why Hammers got to go. And that would have been great. You know, the South American region is by far the biggest region as far as concurrent viewers and spectating goes for this game. So I feel like it's kind of a loss that they don't have that huge fan base there. So it's kind of up to the rest of the regions to kind of fill it up. And I think that it would have been interesting to see all the regions' strats and tactics and what they do different. And do you think GS will pull out, if they get a Plaza map, do you feel like that them or one of the other teams will use the nade strat?
There's no doubt they probably will. But I think, you know, the game is changing, and stuff that might have worked back then might not work now. We always have to see. I haven't seen the nade strat be pulled out. They're probably saving it. I know that there are like 700 strats that can be used for LAN that not even like CFE knows is possible. And it'll probably like there'll be a couple of surprises on what you can throw and stuff like that. But I think the nade strat may or may not work. It's really 50-50 because they've done it before. They've abused it on teams before. That was pretty funny when they did that. But I think they might come prepared. Yeah.
That's the thing. They won because of that, you know. And if you're going to the first LAN, you want to do everything you can to get
definitely. But I think that teams are preparing for Gangsters on Plaza, or then they just might ban it. Honestly, I think they might just ban that for Gangsters. Gangsters does tons of preparation for other teams, but they're going blind into LAN because they don't really scrim European teams as far as I'm aware. So like they don't know what maps they're good at. They don't know how Nova would play with Milio and Cam. They don't know.
Just watch their scrims and stuff and their content that they
So I think I really don't know what strats could work for Gangsters like that. And that nade strat, they've done it before. They probably should have saved it.
They're really good at adapting though too.
Yeah, they are. They're really good at adapting. I think strats is mostly just like you have to use it when it really does count. The nade strat, I don't think they had to really use it that like right then and there because LAN is like really big, and I think you want to win the first LAN, and you want to have some tricks up your sleeve before you go into it. I'm not sure what else Gangsters have. But
they always have something, like you said. They have all kinds of strats that people don't even know about, and I highly feel like Gangstars is the heavily favored team to win this. And unless something crazy happens, you know, actually, if there's a team that I know that can take them down, it actually is Hammers. Hammers has defeated them before.
Yeah.
And you know, let's look at the past seasons. Hammers defeated them in the
Kings
the
did
winter
too as
winter
well.
season.
So
Yeah.
Dynasty technically.
Yeah, that's
Have
true.
good
You know, I
opportunity
mean,
as well.
GS is not infallible, but they definitely are the heavy favorites. But that brings back to another point, like the under the pressure. So if you want to look
Hmm.
at the finals of the winter season, that was a completely different story from the group stages. Now you elevate that to being at a live event. Do you think that teams will buckle? If one team you think would buckle under the pressure, who do you think it will be? And do you think because it's just experience playing on a big stage, or do you just think it's just that pressure will get to them?
You know, I think whoever prepares the best is least likely to choke because at prior preparation prevents poor performance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So gangsters have tons of experience on their main five. Probably everyone except for I'd say King. He's been playing the least amount of time. I'm not sure how he would act, but I think that maybe a really young team right now is Hammers. They aren't like I would say they're like incredibly experienced. Maybe some of their players might buckle. I don't think the whole team would.
I think the
Because
supporting
you
the
have to have
teammates is what's going to help determine
yeah
the situation.
the whole team. It's gonna be a whole team. You can't have a carry. Like if you're like I just don't think hard carry would probably work right now. Like
Oh,
Joker,
no.
Yeah.
Joker would need this team. Like Knight would need his.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Knight could just do it by himself like that. Like you need the support of all the rest of his teammates.
Do you think
And,
for LAN you're going to see different weapons being used? Like the HK you don't really see very
Yeah,
often.
I'm surprised no one's thrown out the HK. Like the HK
It's
is
a
a
powerful weapon.
one-shot kill if someone's already damaged. You know,
It really is a lot. I think the thing about the North American scene as well is that we like to stick with something that works, and we don't really like to experiment a ton. Teams want to win scrims. We're a really scrim-based region, I guess. We scrims are like our lives over here, and they always want to win scrims, and they always want to look good, and they don't entirely want to like try something new. So to say, the HK, I've kind of tried it. It's all right if you know when and where to use it. Maybe we could see a new gun come out. Probably the HK is most likely for it to come out. The M14 was tried, but I don't think it's really being used as much as it used to be. And it's also a really good gun.
Yeah, I think
I agree.
M14 in close quarters is better. Like in maps like Plaza and Canals, though, I feel like if you stack a HK with the sniper, that like is a deadly combination. Because if you think about it, when you miss a snipe, or if you say you hit the snipe and damage them, it's not a one kill through the wall, and someone else is there with the HK. That's a tandem shot.
That's there we go. Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Especially because the sniper takes that like half a second longer to go out of scope, back into scope, or out of scope and then no scope them. Where if you have the HK, that's boom right there, and the firing rate of the HK is faster than the sniper. I mean, I think that's something interesting, and you know, maybe your team can use it.
Even the M14 too.
Yeah, you know, so it's something I think would be cool to see the meta change, and I think that someone will change the meta at lane. Someone's going to throw out something that you know they try it and either it works or doesn't work, and if it doesn't work, someone's going to see that and be like, "Hey, that was a good idea. Let's improve on that."
Yeah, definitely. I think in the teams that I've been, I sort of threw out like this incredible strat on Legacy that no one thinks is possible, but it is. And I think either Gangstars or D2R or Million Cam might throw it out because I taught them it's this crazy strat, and it's incredible. Like I think Gangsters might use it for one of their maps, and it's something that no one has ever thought of. And going back on what you said about the weapons, the Super 90 has actually been really common in competitive, especially with Gangstars as well. Gangstars and Dynasty. I know Grizz used the Super 90.
Grizz went crazy with that.
Yeah. Grizz goes crazy with that Super 90 right there. And I think that we will see the Super 90 on maps like close range maps, like, you know, Bureau, Plaza. I wouldn't say Legacy is a bit too long range.
I love the shotgun though too.
Yeah,
I love that
yeah,
gun. It's a solid gun.
definitely.
Used in close quarters.
Yeah, but definitely. I think a bit of the reason why we don't see new guns being used is partly on CFE because the guns right now they just aren't good. Like the XD, it's probably the most useless gun in the game. I'd say
Yeah.
dualies are making a return. The dual wields are coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you have to be good with it, and if you have like a GSR, you can just kill them like that. I think CFE needs to do their part and make the weapons actually good. That saying, stuff like the SA is actually heavily slept on. The SA is 1800, and it can one-shot someone close range.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's incredibly slept on. I know that the SG is just too expensive, and you can just buy like a sniper for it. Probably they might want to. The AUG is pretty much useless as well. Other than that, it hides your traces and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think CFA needs to come out with a weapons update. Don't touch the main guns. Don't worry about the main guns. The main guns are fine, but I think that they need to work on the pistols especially, and probably the. Go ahead.
Have you noticed that the MP5 is a little bit stronger? I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but me, because I've been using it just randomly, playing gun game. I feel like the MP5 is actually a little bit stronger now. I felt like it was kind of useless before, but I've noticed that it I don't know if it just does more damage or I haven't seen any stats on it, but if you could later maybe play with it and just kind of let me know your thoughts on that for the next episode.
Definitely.
That's definitely a gun that no one uses, and it could be something slept on. If, say, it got a boost and no one knows about that, and that's a cheap gun to buy. That could change the anti-eco completely. If
definitely.
If people are using that instead of a shotgun.
Yeah, one thing about the MP5 that's really good to note is that back then in like the alpha version, it was a really strong gun. The MP7 was useless almost. It was not good. I think the MP7 has been the same. It has there's been like a minor update, and it wasn't even to damage. They just changed the model of the MP7, and now the med right now is the MP7, and the MP5 has sort of fallen off for some reason, and no one really likes to use it. It's like $300 more or $400 more. But what they have to do with the SMGs to make it even viable to buy is they need to they have to change the kill reward. So instead of the 300 for the guns, they need to add some incentive to use it, like sniping. A sniper is a pretty hard gun to wield usually. They should increase the kill. They should actually increase the reward for killing someone with it. The SMG, they should also increase the kill reward with it as well because it's a harder gun to use. Knifing should be, because right now it's not even, knifing isn't even like a useful thing. It's just to get in the heads of your opponents basically, and they need to increase that. There needs to be some more incentive, because really, if I were to be buying a weapon on round, right, and there was a higher kill reward, I would probably go with something that has a higher kill reward, because there's some more incentive in using it. So I think CFE needs to change the kill rewards with the guns and the MP5 and MP7 if they want some more to be used.
I agree. Let's move on to our next topic. Let's talk about the Valiant's summer season Premier League was announced. And as we all know, Valiance does a top-notch job on what their production and just hosting the tournaments in general. I feel like this summer season is going to be probably the most important summer season to date. And if you look at the dates here, the important dates are going to be sign-ups close on June 25th. 2018 qualifiers are July 1st through the 20th, and then the summer season starts actually on July 18th and ends in September. And if you look at that, What's that?
July 20th.
Dang.
Oh yeah. Oh, ends on the 20th, and then the summer season starts on the 28th, and then the season ends in September. If you look at that time frame, that is a massive season. That is very, very
That's incredibly long. That's like, wow.
long. You know,
That's like both of my vacations.
yeah. And
Wow.
if you're looking at that, I would want to say, if you go back and look, there was a winter Premier League and there's a summer Premier League. And what happened with the teams that won the winter Premier League? I would, if you put two and two together, I think maybe if theoretically there was another land, maybe this tournament is the tournament to qualify for it. Do you think that
Maybe.
if that's the case, do you think that completely changes, people's, I guess urgency to play in the summer season? And don't forget, like they have the ladder, which people forget about. You can qualify for their Premier Leagues by being number one on the ladders, and no one does that. Like, so let's start with first things. How many invites do you think each region should get, and who do you think should get those invites?
Well, for land, right? For land?
For the summer season.
For summer season, right? Invites would probably go to the teams that, well, I think the winner of North America, South America should get a first. It's just like I think it's just how CS:GO works. If you win, like one event, you get invited to the next one, and then so like let's say if Hammers wins the winter season, they should be brought into the spring or whichever other thing comes next, and then they should qualify after. The other team should qualify. I think that they should not just, because I know that Critical Ops wants to make money as well while keeping it fair. So teams like Gangsters, I'd say maybe even if Gangsters were bad, let's say they played really bad in the tournament, they still might grab an invite just because of the name they hold and how much money they bring in to things like Valiants and how many viewers they get from it and their fan base. I think that they should qualify. Most teams, other than the ones that won, should have to qualify. And that's just what I think. For LAN, I know that there weren't any qualifiers, unless it was the first one. There were qualifiers for that.
Correct.
But the second one, it's all from invite. And we already knew that Gangsters was going to get invited. That's just given. Maybe Hammers, because they are also org back. Nova is going there, STVX. And I really wish that Battalion from South America would have gone, but I heard they had some visa issues. And Dynasty, so I think those teams that performed well in Alliance and they have a good name got invited to LAN. I think that's how that should be for.
So preparing for the summer season, let's talk about your team. In case people don't know, you are now in Impreza and have actually been there for a while. And I know you guys have had some roster additions and roster changes. How is Impreza going, and what are you guys doing to prepare for the summer season?
So for the summer season, we have a couple of spicy roster changes. I don't think I can say yet because they haven't been in place, but we have some big things coming up. We have some new players coming back, players going out. And I think we're going to start preparing probably on Monday is when we start to prepare for this. We're really looking forward to it. And I think we got robbed. This Impreza got robbed from last season because of the hacking situation. We got screwed. Just by one player.
Let's actually talk about that.
Season.
We try and shy away from controversial topics, but this is in the past now, and we can actually talk about it. If you want to set precedents, teams got removed from previous seasons, but this past season they didn't. The hacking didn't affect it. What are your thoughts on that? And explain why you feel like you got robbed.
So Impreza back then, I think it was right before I joined Impreza. because I joined Impreza for Jackson, who hacked in Impreza. So once when this happened, right, we were deducted 30 points. So we couldn't even, like, there was no incentive in playing. We just played to play, just to finish up the season. And we got robbed. Because anyhow that they were inviting teams for LAN based off of that event, we would have been robbed. Because Impreza at that time was actually pretty strong, especially when I joined. Like, that was a really good Impreza. And that's the Impreza that I really liked. And, you know, I think that in Reliance, I think when they hack, 30-point deduction should go for all the teams that has ever had a hacker. Because the way how we detect hackers in critical ops, I don't really trust it. I don't think it's that accurate. Do we know if this person hacked in a Reliance match? Because at that time around, right, was it Elite or Solar that got exposed? And Gangsters,
the last one was...
That was Elite that got exposed.
Elite got exposed for, yeah. So when Elite got exposed, Gangsters didn't really take a big hit, did they? I mean, like I'm not trying to like shoot.
They didn't because I don't think Elite actually played in any of the matches. That's why I don't think he played in the matches that were playing. Yeah, and but then that brings up my point about Solar. I don't know if fast forward, Solar gets banned. Did he play in any of the match? Like, I don't know. Those are a lot of things like you take an account into.
Yeah.
Like, and how does that affect the integrity of the game? Because if you look at that, at that point it was Jackson, half of Die Kingdom come, and Elite, right? That was the huge news that came out, you know, and everyone went on a witch hunt. People are trying to get everyone they can banned from the community, you know, and it was a bad look for critical ops competitive scene. But every competitive scene goes through a stumble. People forget CS:GO 5-6 years ago. People were laughing about it, you know, from from Source, and then previously 1.6, which was like I think one of the best eras for the game. But I mean, it takes a while, and people are impatient. But they also forget that, you know, there really isn't a statutes and limitations set overall for this game. And, you know, they did announce the new TOS update with the new update. What do you think about it going from, I believe, 13 to 16 plus to play the game now?
Sorry?
What do you think about, you have to be 16 plus to play Critical Ops?
You know, man, like, honestly, like, when I got that, I just went through it. I was, like, 16 plus. And I'm 15, and I know players that are like 12, 13, and they're super good. I don't think it'll take a hit to anyone, really. I just didn't even reread it, because, like, I don't hack. I don't know, like, if stuff like that would apply to me. Really, I don't think many people care, really, about the TOS. Like, you should read TOS, but I don't know a single person that would read through that entire thing. And if you are 16 and older, congrats. I mean, but guys that are like below that age, they aren't going to be like, oh crap, I have to be 16 to play this game now. Even when I'm pro, I'm in an org, things are looking up, and now I can't compete now. Like, I don't think people would be like that over terms of service.
I think it's important because if you look at the minimum age that they're inviting players to go, it is 16 plus. So I think as a competitive player, if you want to take this game seriously, you have to think about that age, and maybe that's the only time you really think about it. Like, because there's going to be a lot of casual players that just want to play the game that aren't, you know, the demographic for mobile games is anywhere from like 5 to, you know, up to 30 plus. And if you're playing it casually, I don't feel like it should matter how old you are. I get that there's violence and stuff, but I mean, it's kind of like anything. You need to get that parental consent.
I think.
Go ahead.
Coming back to a point you had, I think, you know, I think for LAN, I think that's the only time where it would really apply. But like if you see like it being enforced like hard, that's when I would start to take into consideration, especially like if there are like you know, stuff that could happen to you. I know that there was a player in he was like a really good player back in No Mercy Voyage. He was like at the time he was like 13. Like, he was incredible at the game. And like it's a shame you have to be 16 and up to go to LAN. Because I know that there are some really good players that are like 12 even.
Well,
I think Elite.
I was gonna say, if you look at Elite just turned 13 last year. He just turned 13 last year.
Just 13.
And was winning massive prize pools and stuff like that, and that's regardless of the hacking thing. He was, if you just go by age, he was probably one of the youngest players to say he was a professional player in Critical Ops. So I mean, let's go back to I didn't let you finish your point about the banning or the bans and how you guys got cheated. Can you elaborate more on like how you think would have been the proper way, or what would have been fair for the teams?
Well, I think for Impreza, I think it was fair for us to get the 30-point deduction, but it just sucks because one player ruined it for the rest of us. And if that was LAN, then I might have killed Jackson. Because, like, you're ruining it for everyone else. Like, it happened in Kingdom Come. Mm-hmm. You're ruining it for all the legit players. Yeah. And I think 30-point deduction, like, I think because I can't trust that ban system that CFE has. And if they really know if they played in Alliance matches, because you can say you never played in Alliance matches with the hacks, and they might believe you. So I think like if you have a player that has hacked, you might need to take it with a grain of salt and just say, like, all right, 30-point deduction for gangsters.
I mean, I don't know how you
never know.
Works. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anybody really does.
From what I talked to with Nitroxic about it, he said that his private hacks are pretty much undetectable, and you won't be exposed unless someone's exposing you. And
private hacks.
And who knows how long people have been having them. He also said that other people have these private hacks, not made by him, but other people from iOS mods and such. And that's, it's scary to think because these people may be people that are big or may not be people that are big, but could be coming up in teams, that explode into the scene within the next year. And that's, and I don't know if CF has like their own countermeasures for this, how they did say they went back and they found people had hacks. And it's I don't know. There hasn't been anything to show that.
Yeah, I think like until we know like how it works and stuff like that, I wouldn't really trust it. Like I wouldn't rely on it 100%. Because like
get the effects it has on the comp scene as well too, and bigger orgs. They just look at that and they don't want to come because people are hacking.
Yeah,
that's something to look at too.
Definitely. I think once when like someone gets exposed for hacking, and if it's something like a Solar case, like Solar's case is a bit different, because according to him, he only tried it out or something like that. He wasn't like hacking in Alliance matches, but we don't entirely know that. We don't know like if we can back it up. Just because CFE says something doesn't entirely like make it true just like that. Because I want to know how it works instead of just blindly going off of what they say.
Yeah, because you
never know.
Who was it? Evolve, same type of situation, and even J7. If you look at J7's situation, so J7 got banned from competitive play because of the hacks that he downloaded, and Nitroxic sent the screenshot to Joker. Here's the difference, and people may not know this if they didn't watch the Nitroxic interview. The private hacks that Elite and Solar and maybe the other players had were not mod menus. There was no menu that came up. It was just something implemented into their code that gave them a little bit extra AA or increased hitboxes, whatever they wanted. It was very customizable. The difference is J7, he bought like their public one or whatever.
Yeah.
It's completely obvious. Like that's like the tweak box ones that where you're shooting. Like that was completely obvious because people
That
were
was
using that stuff, and he wanted to see like, all right, how do we catch this?
how it works.
Is it like how
Yeah,
obvious
yeah.
is this?
You
Because
see,
people are using it
yeah.
against him.
You see, that's the difference between that right there. And I agree with you. J7 being banned on that, I don't think I would fully be like backing him being banned forever. Cause if you're going to, because you can tell a person's intentions because he was trying to see how it works. It's a good cause, I think, but I think he's telling the truth because no one in their right mind is being backed by a really top 2 North American team, a really good player as well, winning the line, stuff like that. He wouldn't download public hacks just to hack and be good like at this game. Like if you're going to hack, at least like throw in like a limb or something like that for like private hacks like that.
But I don't think he would have had to record, and it would have been obvious.
Yeah,
like, people are
it would have been obvious.
Point.
So I think he was, yeah. So I think his intentions were pure. I don't think he had any sort of I think he was real with it. But I think what killed him is that he never told CFE, he never told CFE, and like if you were to tell them or something like that, I don't know how that would go down.
Mm.
But public hacks, yeah.
That brings up a situation like I've always stood by. If you're hacking, you're a hacker, and like you should be banned. And then people will bring up the debate. All right, well, comp play versus not comp play. And you also said that we don't know if other people use them or not. With J7, you can completely tell that he never used it.
Yeah, you can tell it. Yeah, I think it was a legit player.
So in this case, like I get where CF is coming from. Like they want to set the same standard for everyone, Is this a case, do you feel like it should be revoked or overturned?
I think in the J7 case, right? What's unfortunate is that we have to look at what he did, right? Mm-hmm. He downloaded hacks, public or private, right? And the way how CFE works, it's not like some sort of like social thing where like you're thinking as like, all right, so he did this and his intentions were this with it. And he was using these hacks, right? I think the J7 case, unless something like this happens again and this person does not get banned, let's say like Joker uses public hacks trying to see how to catch it and he doesn't get banned, then J7 should be unbanned as well. Mm-hmm. Because it's only fair that way. Because then you might look at CFE favoring gangsters or something like that, and you don't want that at all for any game. Favoring a team, but I think the repercussions for hacking, like let's say like you're trying to download hacks, like let's say in a case of this guy from Gangsters, what's his name again? MVP, right? He was trying to download hacks, but they never worked for him. I think he should still face some repercussions. Mm-hmm. Being kicked from Gangsters isn't enough at all. He should probably be like banned for like a couple of months, like I don't know, 2, 3, 5 months, a year possibly, if I want to go that crazy with it. But if you hack and you had the intentions of using it in a tournament, or even if you were trying to test it out and trying to see how to catch it without telling CFE you're doing this, I think that unfortunately you should be banned. You should be permanently banned. But if if J7 told CFE and then he still got banned, then I'd be a little bit more. I'd probably back on J7 a little bit more. But it's just unfortunate for J7 because I think he actually had the intentions of being legit with it.
And I agree, and that's me. I have obviously Tyler and I have close conversations with J7, and it is unfortunate and it hurts. You see how his his video that he made about it was very heartfelt and from the heart. And if you compare that to like some of the other people that got caught, they usually just bash the game and bash the community. Elite even said it's a stupid game. But I mean, like these people here brings up another thing to me. Like these people that are getting banned from competitive play can still play the game.
Oh yeah, elite,
He
in
still
rank F.
plays. He
Yeah,
plays as
yeah,
a
yeah.
Fiorista, and he has other names now, and like he can still
My
play.
man's elite. Actually, in rank S, that's where that's like where all the pros play.
Mm-hmm.
Players like Carson are still there, Jackson's still there, Elite's still there. Like honestly, like the North American region, like we're pretty like close, I guess. Like we don't really care like if they hack. I mean, like you're banned and all that. You're not going to join like my team, but you can still play in rank S. Like they still, like I played against Elite and with Elite in rank S like for like a whole month or two after he got banned.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just still play the game, and I would say there's a way around that because I guess you could device ban them.
Yeah,
I don't
really
know, like
IP ban or device. I think that kind of goes.
yeah.
Against, like,
So I mean,
so
but I don't think that's really important because it's not that fun to use hacks in pubs than it would be against the scrim. So, I guess they can't. It's not that big of a deal, I think. But going back on what you said about from the heart, yeah, J7's video like it really got me too because I think when Elite got exposed, like that man was like, all right guys, here's how the hack works. I have extra AA just a little bit on the headshot. Yeah, I'm gonna move to Roblox, and this game's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
As compared to J7, where he poured his heart out, man. Like that man was crying, bro. Like when you cry over a game like this, man, like that's where I really felt bad for the guy, cause he had good intentions, and he just went about it in the wrong way, and that's what sucks. But you have to justice is justice, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And,
no,
yeah, so
I agree. Let's go on to our next topic. Is Mobile Esports announces the King of the Arena Season 3. It's basically like a ladder competition. What are your thoughts on mobile esports in general, and how they run their tournaments? They run some pretty cool tournaments. They do the sniper tournament. They do the anti-assault. I think they bring new elements to this game. What is the main difference of King of the Arena or mobile esports and compared to like Valiance and even ESL? Like why do you think they're fun? I think their casters are fun as well.
I think, at least for me, like personally, I don't really like the sniper tournament, the anti-assault. Like, it does bring something new to like the game, but I want tournaments, man. Like cause I just want tournaments, man. I remember back then when they hosted the first tournament, it was tons of fun. And I just want them to go back to like their roots. And I think the King of the Arena, it's probably the first like league state of play that like we've had for COPs. I remember like teams like Gangstars back then. Gangstars played, E8 played, Imperial played. Almost these back in the Imperial time and the Team Phoenix times. That's when like King of the Arena was the wave. And now it's having a comeback now. But I think just because of how Alliance does it, they have like their website. You can do it through. It's very simple. I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but I think that the Alliance lab, like I think the way how they're doing it, I think that would be the most popular way because it's very efficient. It's really simple. Maybe as compared to wow, I can't speak English now. But I think their way of doing it might be a little bit more complicated. But I think both teams, like I think the pro teams, like, pass up on scrims and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they might just do both. And yeah, but I can't wait for KOA. I think Impress is going to do it, so that's going to be lit.
Mm-hmm. The last thing I want to talk about, I guess, is ESL. A lot of people sleep on the ESL tournaments, and I think if you look at it globally, ESL is probably one of the biggest names in esports. And right now, I believe it's about to be in either the group stages, and I think the group stages end soon, and The playoffs are about to begin, and
Yeah.
if you look at the brackets right now, in Group A, top team is Bomber. Group B, it's D2R. Group C is District IFL, aka Hammers. And Group D, you have Team Viral on top with your team Impreza right behind. And then you have in E, Unity Lions. Group F is Brazil Revenge Clan. G, MQSK. H is IFM with CSBG Immortals below them, which is interesting. And then you
Yeah.
have Group I, King's Demise. J, Alco Gang. K, Elevate. Obviously, they should be on top. Group L, Dynasty. No surprise, they're on top. We Love Gaming is the top of M, and N, Nameless Warriors. O, Rain. P, Nova Esports, which they should be on top. Q, Loco Squad, which is another big name from a lot of the tournaments. R, Turkish Power. S, Brainless Esports, and Group T, Team
It's a
Seven.
lot of teams. Dang.
We got all the way to letter T. That's a lot of teams, and that's a lot. A lot of groups. But that next step is obviously the playoffs and stuff like that. So looking forward to ESL. Obviously, they were the ones that hold the very first LAN qualifier event. Do you see any big things for ESL in the future, or do you think people don't really play ESL as much or hold it valid or important as it used to be?
It's not as important as it used to be. At least for me personally, I think it's kind of slowed down, especially with this one. Like, it's been taking like a long time for us to get to. I'm not sure whether it's just like the group stages finishing, but I don't know. Like, it feels kind of slow to me, too slow even. Like I think it was Sundays. Was it Sundays or Saturdays? I think it was, where you had a weekly and then a monthly one. That was great. I really liked those ones. Kept you on your toes. A tournament for every week. That's perfect.
Do you think it's slowed down because of the hacking that's been going on lately, or
maybe? I think hacking, of course, does have a bit of an effect. I don't think it would affect it that much, but I think it would have some sort of effect on it. I think personally, it's just a bit too slow paced for me. It's not like how it used to be back when you had like gangsters doing it and weekly stuff. But I think now, like, maybe once when it gets like the playoffs or like the quarterfinals, then we might start paying some attention to it. But now it's slept on for a good reason.
True. I mean, in professional sports, no one except for diehard fans that follow their team really watch all the way every game in the regular season. So that's kind of like what's going on. And you kind of mentioned something, weekly tournaments with them. And a lot of people in the community have kind of talked about this. Do you think now that the competitive scene is actually, established and bigger, and there's big names in it, prize pools, do you think the prize pools make a big difference as far as incentive-wise and for the comp scene?
I think the prize pools right now, those have been affected by the hack. It's just like, it's not smart to invest like tons of more money into a game where they might not even be playing legit and stuff like that. And I think right now the prize pools are pretty much fine. They'll grow over time as the game gets bigger, especially after this LAN and after these investors and orgs see what the game's about. Because this right here is a make or break for all the orgs coming in. Especially after the hacking situation with Space Station, that took a hit. I know tons of managers have taken hits because they have been trying to contact big orgs, like really big orgs. And after the Space Station thing, because the news travels around, like, you want to compete with like all the top orgs, like Cloud9 wants to, or like Cloud9 joins like Clash Royale, and then they want to compete with Cloud9 Clash Royale and stuff like that. So it's like they pick up a team, and then it might hurt your brand name if a player in your org is hacking. So like once Space Station left, that sent some news over to some of the orgs saying COPS, you can't entirely trust it. They might be hacking. So I think it has a pretty big effect. And this LAN might change that for some of these orgs and stuff like that. So, you know, and plus the orgs bring in more money as well and more viewership.
Yep.
And it comes full circle.
I've heard some massive names being thrown around, being interested in critical ops, like massive names, like names that people would be like, really, wow, that team, you know. And I hope that this LAN helps showcase critical ops, you know. And if you look at some of the other games that are going to be at the Mobile Masters, they're not really the same. Like all the games are kind of different. You know, we're the only FPS really there. And I believe FPS always has a stable ground in esports. And you look at CSGO, Call of Duty, games like that, Halo, that have kind of like their FPS, and people love that. They love that tactical style. I believe some of the bigger FPS first orgs are looking into critical ops, especially since some of, like you mentioned, some of those orgs have now kind of gone to mobile. You get complexities in there. A lot of the Clash Royale major orgs are in that. You have orgs in Vainglory. So I think, you know, the next step. Arena of Valor. You know, you have Team Liquid is in there, and it's in there. It's like it's big, you know. And the next thing for mobile is FPS. And you know, there's other. I believe what is it? MC5. One of those Modern Combat has. They do lands. But I feel like this is the game. This is the mobile esport for FPS.
This is the game. Yeah, I think it is. There isn't another game I can think of. Like, I think we gave a chance with MC5, and that sort of died down. Modern Combat Versus. The only reason why they have a LAN is because it's Game Off. Game Off is like really big, and they can just get their own LAN and stuff like that, and their own comp scene, and their own viewers and stuff like that. I would think it's like esports. Honestly, like it's just like personally, like not trying to be biased, but I think COps is like a pure scene, and especially in South America, they go crazy over that, man. They're like killing dudes over this stuff just to watch it.
Their fan base is very similar to CS, like the South American fan base.
Yeah. Oh man, they go crazy with it. Like the viewership for the Lions, they get more views in like South America.
Triple. It's like triple.
Yes, they're triple. You wouldn't think about it.
They always have the big screen. It's crazy. Yes,
definitely. And they probably would bring in the most money because those fans are so passionate. They're incredibly passionate. They are. And they just get the game, and it's such a shame because South America are put at a disadvantage. I think because they can't travel to lands as like simply as we have, you know, in like the U.S., like, you know, North America and Europe. The visas are different. Like it goes in like CS:GO as well. Like it's kind of hard to travel when you're from like Brazil or like South America and stuff like that because of the visas and stuff like that. And it's just such a shame because they bring in so much viewers. Like, I know Sem1 from Battalion. Like, these guys are really passionate. He's been with his team for like 2 years, 3 years almost now. And
not to mention, they have some of the biggest content creators in the game. Like you have,
they actually do.
You have Pelin. They all have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of
views,
YouTube subscribers. Like, and people don't realize that.
Yeah, and you know, man, I think I might just mess around and learn Portuguese real fast and bring out like 7 videos in one day, and I'll get like 1 million subscribers. Like, that's just how crazy it is. Like, I think if COPS really wants to take it to like the next level with like the reviewing, they have to prioritize South America. Even like North America, we take things for granted. The fans here, like the fans are great. Don't get me wrong, but they are nowhere compared to like the fans in like South America. Like you wouldn't kill someone over Battalion losing to some other team. You wouldn't do that for gangsters, but like these guys go crazy over it, and it's so profitable, but no one's tapping into it. Instead, it's just.
Go ahead.
And you know, I think they just tap into like North America and Europe, and they leave out. I think for the Southeast, I think for South America, they have to tap into it, as well as the other one, CSPG, those teams as well. They have to tap into those as well. You can't leave those ones out, or else then there wouldn't be much of an incentive to play in those regions.
I think that they will. I think that they will do something. I know when Tyler and I had interviewed Veli almost a year ago now, he had mentioned that they're going to have like a separate Asian market. And I believe he kind of even mentioned something like that in he talked about the Brazilian fan viewership in one of his articles, and I think they are kind of trying to push something. Maybe the next LAN event, whether it's this year or next year, maybe it'll be a global one, like it'll be in Europe or in South America or even Asia, because that they have a Korean office, and in South Korea is the hub of esports, mobile and
esports,
like in general. Like, so in South Korea they have multiple stadiums for just esports. It's insane.
It's incredible in South Korea.
In the world too.
I mean, it's
China.
Once they open that market, it's going to be crazy for competition as well.
They have to tap into China as well. Like China is incredible. PUBG, Knives Out, stuff like that. They already have tournaments for that, and it's crazy in China as well. And I'm not sure why. Is CFs available in China or no? Is it like?
I think it's one of the things that they're working on.
It's really
because I think like there's something with like the blood. Wasn't like the blood? So CF should, I think, adhere, like, because I think it's like blood. So they will like the gore. I think in CF there's not much gore. I think it's just like blood. And I think when that gets like, I don't know, like you could just take it out. It wouldn't affect the game a lot. And when that happens, you can market in China. And when you do that, the game's big. Arena of Valor. That is, oh my gosh.
Kings of Honor, now Arena of Valor, like huge.
Yes.
Huge. People don't know it has the biggest community and biggest game play viewership in all games, like right now. It's huge.
It is incredibly
They have like 200 million downloads now for mobile.
It's insane.
Something like that.
So
it's crazy for Arena of Valor. Like it's just crazy. So China is something you need to tap into China if you want to make it big. Especially for like at the mobile games. I'm not sure about PC because I don't really like the Chinese scenes like CS:GO and stuff like that. And like I think the players in China, they play it casually, but if you really want to tap in to like a phone game and stuff like that, they go crazy in China. Like you have incredible investors
over there.
Oh yeah, they're crazy, but don't get it between them. So that's crazy. Like they have to do things if they want to make it big. But yeah, definitely.
Right on. Well, that's kind of all we have to talk about today. I appreciate you being on the show. Do you have any last comments or any shout outs you want to give to your fans, Vulcan?
Shout out to my boy Kawado. Shout out to my boy Minty. Shouts to Spectre. Shouts to Algae. Shouts to Reza. That's pretty much it. Thank you for having me here.
All right, buddy.
Man. Thanks for being on, and we'll be back on next week or the week after. So for Vulcan and Media, I'm Legacy, and we're saying peace.
Great.
Hell yeah.
Dang, that was a good hour right there. That was a good hour. Pretty cool.